The Mid-Ohio Challenge, Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio. Let's take a look at the lap leaders brought to you by Polaris Razor. Had a lot of Sam Hornish Jr., DJ, and we expected that.
Yep, sure did. Man set a track record and came here pretty much on a mission. He felt like that Iowa was one of his best racetracks. He had a couple of opportunities there this year. A couple of things happened, and he wanted to atone for that. Doesn't get many chances in this good race car anymore, but wants to take advantage of that very fast today.
Looking good and looking for his first win at Mid-Ohio. After 3 poles, he won an IndyCar. Team Penske has been successful recently. Newgarden, I believe, won here a couple weeks ago. So why not another? Why not another trophy for the captain?
And we've seen this car be dominant here in years past, but just not be able to pull it off and go to victory. Although A.J. Allmendinger won here in this, but you know they've just been strong every single time that they show up here. Drivers do an outstanding job.
And even with the race cars changing, Dale, there are certain things that you learn and sort of put on the shelf till you come back the next time, aren't there?
Yeah, absolutely. You know that's the one thing about road racing is spring shocks, sway bars, things like that you run. Once you find kind of what that is, you might have to fine tune that a little bit to the drivers because they always have somebody different. It seems like in a car like that. But fine tuning that. But once you get that base, then you're not going to have to change things too often.
You were looking at second and third there momentarily. Here is the look back to them from leader Sam Hornish. 21 of Hemrick continues to impress. Nice run for him. And there's James Davison in the 20. Also lurking back there in the bright orange, number 7, that is Allgaier. And coming through the picture, the 07 of Lally, 42 of Marks, and Regan Smith from the rear of the field. Back to 7th position.
Yeah, really nice rebound. You know, it's easy to get frustrated as a driver. He made his way up through and then made the mistake of getting down into the corner, trying to make a pass. Wheel hopped, got off into the sand trap, maneuvered his way out of there. But between pit strategies and good driving, got himself situated back in a position to make a good day of this.
Regan was in Watkins Glen last week on Baby Watch for Denny Hamlin. Asked him if spending time with the Toyota people and with the Joe Gibbs Racing people was helpful to him, and he said yes, definitely. Language, just listening in, being part of the organization gave him a little bit more comfort level as he jumped in the car this weekend.
Yeah, that and being a former winner here, so understanding that, I put all those things together. You can see he's really hustling the car right now.
Final lap ticking away for Sam Hornish Jr. and Stage 2. Stage 2 of 3 against Stage Racing, introduced in 2017 to bring a couple of more moments to a NASCAR race. Stage 1 was won by Blake Cook, a series regular. Stage 2 appears to be in the hands of a 3-timer now in 2017, Sam Hornish Jr.
Yeah, and I think as we get to the end of this, most people are thinking, even though that 35 laps that makes up the last stage is on the outside edge of what it takes to make, you're going to have a couple of caution laps in there. So that's going to help you. And then we generally do get some cautions in that last segment.
Some history here. We watched Ryan Reed earlier for Roush Fenway Racing trying to employ that one-stop strategy. They, as an organization, ran 38 laps for Chris Buescher a couple of years ago, but it included 6 laps of caution. The race was longer at that time, but 38 laps run with 6 of caution. So that's kind of the marker that we've got for maybe the longest distance we've seen.
Yeah, and you can figure that at least a 2-to-1 here, so you can figure that would be like 35 green flag laps. Still doing a nice job of saving fuel in that respect. But these teams have that now to where they would be comfortable in getting that if they had to do it.
To the checkers and a Stage 2 win for Sam Hornish for Team Penske. And Andy Lally, a nice top 5 there. Justin Allgaier, series regular. Daniel Hemrick, series regular. Getting some good regular season points at the end of Stage 2.
Yeah, you can see
regular season bonus points.
Yes, and Blake Cook worked his way back into the top 10, getting another valuable point there.
There he is, good-looking 22. The green and white checkers have flown for him. The field is now under caution. We'll be back for the final stage at Mid-Ohio.
NASCAR racing is brought
to find what I want. Booking.com gets it. I want their price match. I know I'm getting the best price every time. Come on, Gary!
Your vacation is very important. That's why Booking.com makes finding the right hotel for the right price easy. Visit Booking.com now to find out why we're booking.yeah.
Get the timeless beauty of real hardwood for your home for less at Lumber Liquidators. This week, popular pre-finished hardwood styles are starting at $199. For something unique, get bamboo from just $139. More from 59 cents and special financing. Get to Lumber Liquidators by Tuesday.
Think a burger place can't cook up the juiciest chicken sandwich you've ever tasted? Well, think again. The Barbecue, Club, and the New Hawaiian. The charbroiled chicken sandwiches with no antibiotics ever. At Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
A long weekend is just an excuse to get a long way from boring. With models up to 62 horsepower or room for 4. Go rugged, go big, go Gator. Now get 0% financing for 60 months plus $500 off the Gator XUV 825i at a dealer near you.
Every lap timed to 100th of a second. Every gallon measured down to the last drop. Every tire holding till its last tread. Each moment building with pressure. But no matter the precision put into a car or a race, the path to victory is through total chaos.
Unbelievable.
You want a showdown? How about something epic? How about some action? We'll see you this fall. Sunday Night Football on NBC.
NASCAR on NBCSN is brought to you by Ford. We go further so you can. And by Polaris Razor. Fuel your freedom. Crews on pit lane looking very ready. And we're thinking, Dale, this may be the last time they pit for Sunoco fuel and Goodyear tires.
I'd say for the majority of them, especially the ones up front, should be able to save enough fuel and enough tire to be able to go to the end. We might see some strategies played if we get halfway through this last run and some others think that tires may be more valuable.
They should have a fresh set laying there in the pit area. They were given 4 for the weekend, or basically start the race on 1 and then 3 laying in the pits. This will be their second application in most cases. And execution here, Dale, pretty important.
Yeah, it's a couple of things. You don't want to speed on pit road, and you want to make sure that you get in your pit box properly so the pit crew can do their job without any hesitation.
See the pace car coming around to the pit entrance. The light in the left-hand side, it is green. And here they come, Parker.
James Davison enters the pit lane out of 3rd place, and what a great run by him. We've talked about how he's learning the stock cars and just getting a little bit more aggressive as the race goes on. He also is struggling with a little bit of rear brake lockup, so his crew chief Chris Gabehart came across radio and instructed him to start messing with the brake bias. They'll do 4 Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel on that 20 and an air pressure adjustment. Ralph?
Well, for Allgaier, the big key is they wanted to make sure they put some rear grip into that car, so they're going to make a track bar adjustment, take it down a little bit. They also want to make sure he got smoothly in and out of his pit box, and he will do that. And just in front of him coming out is Sam Hornish in the 22. No trick calls as to what they would do for their pit stop. No Buckeye Bolt this time. The big thing he wanted, though, Dave, Was a sandwich.
A little nourishment there. That may have cost him the lead off of pit road. Hemrick had the better stop, Dale.
Sure did. Nice job by everyone there. Hammer did a great job in that last stage. So see how this plays out. A little trouble here.
Careful now. Ryan Reed getting back out. And it appears they're servicing the 33 car in his pit box.
He's in the pit box, yeah. Maybe not the way you would always want to do it, but he certainly is in there legally.
That is the rule. Well, let's see if we can dial up the Stage 2 winner. That was Sam Hornish. We've spoken to him earlier today. DJ?
Sam, Dale Jarrett, you have a minute to talk?
Yeah, I got a minute.
Okay, man, thanks for talking with us. Hey, seems like if you could have scripted out what you wanted this day to go like, this is pretty much what it would have been to this point.
Pretty much so, other than eating a candy bar while talking to you guys, but gotta try to stay hydrated, keep everything going in the right direction. The guys are doing a great job as far as the car. Main thing for me is just really to try to make sure that we do all the right things here, keep it on the track, and be smart about it. This entire Ford Mustang's been awesome.
Yeah, looks like it has been. We'll let you get nourished there. Got 35 more laps to go at it. Good luck, man. Thanks for talking.
Thank you.
I love it. Took him a minute to respond because he was chewing.
That's right.
Stage 2 results. There is your winner, Sam Hornish Jr. Hemrick, Davison, Allgaier right behind. When we come back, we'll get him started toward the end of the race, the final stage from Mid-Ohio.
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
Think a burger place can't cook up the juiciest chicken sandwich you've ever tasted? Well, think again. The barbecue, club, and the new Hawaiian. The charbroiled chicken sandwiches with no antibiotics ever. At Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
There's nothing more important to me than my vacation. So when I need to book a hotel, I want someone who makes it easy. Booking.com gets it. And with their price match, I know I'm getting the best price every time.
Visit Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Go for it. All right. In my Johnsonville commercial, we open with a car chase. There's semis, you got a couple of bikers in there, and grandmas on scooters. There's a news reporter down there, and she's going blah, 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 big car chase. Oh, yeah, they're chasing the Johnsonville Big Taste Grill. Finally, the driver turns to the guy next to him and says, "Did you leave the brats on the grill again?" And he goes, "Yep." Might as well put them to good use. I don't know how it ends. It could be an explosion, maybe. And that's a commercial made the Johnsonville way.
Get the timeless beauty of real hardwood for your home for less at Lumber Liquidators. This week, popular pre-finished hardwood styles are starting at $199. For something unique, get bamboo from just $139. More from 59 cents and special financing. Get to Lumber Liquidators by Tuesday.
Facing death, I had only one thought.
I gotta make all natural chicken sandwiches! That's just the marketing point, right? No, I'm talking no antibiotics ever! What a world!
The charbroiled chicken sandwiches with no antibiotics ever. Carl's Jr. and Hardee's.
Want to know who's going to be the next big thing?
What a move!
These guys have an idea.
3 and 4 wide, waiting for position.
He knew he was up against the best.
We're hitting the road to Pocono. With only 4 races left, it's gonna get a little touch and go.
Whoa, big crash.
At the Tricky Triangle, the Pocono IndyCar 500, next Sunday on NBCSN.
Be sure to catch all the action of NASCAR on NBC with the NBC Sports app. Get closer with alternate camera angles, driver stats, and track information available on mobile, tablet, and connected TV. Download the app and find out more at NBCSports.com/live. Live here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. The field is bunched up 2 by 2. And they are getting ready for the resumption of the race here on this historic road course built in 1962, upgraded through the 80s thanks to the Jim Truman family. Now seeing another Xfinity Series race.
You see the leader has taken a different side here on this restart. Daniel Hemrick's chosen the outside to restart on. He's the leader of the race.
He fires off down toward turn number 1, back under green at Mid-Ohio. He's going to make it work. Remember, Hemrick had a better pit stop, got off of pit road first, took the lead from Hornish there, and now maintains.
Up 3 wide through there.
Hard to do, they make it work. Like the 19 of Tift was involved, maybe the 9 of Byron, the 62 of Brendan Gaughan. Down to turn 4, Hornish with a look. Hemrick is going to keep the lead.
Yeah,
challenge for...
Not going to push that issue right there.
Yep. This may push a little bit of an issue, side by side, Byron and Tift.
Yeah, they're racing hard back from about 8th back to 15th or 16th.
And now Hemrick has to look at this. We were talking about it off into the commercial. Good run for that young man, not known as a road course racer, and he's got the lead.
Yeah, he's doing an outstanding job. Sam Hornish really would be content with this if they could pull away a little bit, but he just doesn't want to have somebody gnawing on his back bumper that might overshoot a corner or something, get into the back of him. So he's probably going to press this a little bit more than he would like to, just because Justin Allgaier and James Davison are running so well right behind him.
No, a little wiggle there. This is Hemrick. You can see him working the wheel there. The white gloves inside the windshield. Great look at Daniel Hemrick at work at Mid-Ohio. Daniel's rookie season in the Xfinity Series after running in the Truck Series. Here's Hornish with another peek. I'm back here.
Yeah, and that wasn't a dive bomb situation. That was to pull out, see if he could make Hemrick look up maybe, and all of a sudden miss the corner, get in there a little bit hard, miss his line, and then you take advantage of that.
And now Hornish has that situation you were talking about, not wanting Allgaier lurking on his back bumper.
Yeah, and he knows that Justin's a good racer. Here, Sam's going to try to outbrake here. Oh, what a great move right there.
Keeps it under him, but Hemrick now has the advantage to the left-hander.
He didn't show that too soon, and that kind of caught Daniel Hemrick by surprise. Hemrick not giving up right now, though.
Hornish with the advantage back to the right-hander, and then Hemrick's, and Hemrick is going to keep the lead. See, I've lost count of my rights and lefts. Who's going to have it here? It's going to be Hornish.
Oh, used up all the track there and all of Daniel Hemrick. Nice move by Sam Hornish.
Back to the front of the 22, and now Hemrick has to deal with Allgaier and the rest of the field. Here they come.
Yeah, what a great recovery by Justin Allgaier. He and Jason Burdett have played great strategy, and Justin's done a really, really good job of keeping his focus, staying on the track, not letting that first lap incident ruin his day.
Oh, it could have been big. He was off the track and sliding, unable to recover in the 7, and then, as you said, Burdett putting together the plan. Now what? And they've made it really good.
Regan Smith there, another sitting there in that 5th spot. Another that had some issues, had to start in the back, made a mistake, got off course, did a good job of not getting caught up in the sand trap, and played a good strategy to get himself back inside the top 5.
Regan Smith, of course, well known on this road course for the victory he had back in 2015. A little bit of bump and run on the final lap.
Yeah, Blake Cook trying to make some ground there too, racing with side by side with Ben Kennedy. Brendan Gaughan just looking for a place to go back there.
Kennedy has 8th, Cook has 9th, the 2 and the 11. They're still side by side back there.
This is an area of the track that you can go through there 2 by 2 if you want to, but it's going to slow you down and only give some others behind you the opportunity to close up on your bumper.
Gaughan trying to take advantage, just gets to the bumper of Kennedy, has to back out. Tipped in the 19 now, very much in the mirror of Brendan Gaughan.
See William Byron in the 9 car in that group back in there. racing hard here. It looks like he's a little more aggressive now that he's got some laps under his belt here today, understanding, probably made his car a little bit better, and he's a better driver here a little more than halfway through this race.
Spoken many times already this season how William Byron absorbs information and applies it well. You might get a little lesson here. 0-7 of Andy Lally behind with so many laps on a road course in his career.
Dave, that's right. That 0-7 has been cutting through the field very fast, but that 9-car William Byron, you mentioned, just getting a little bit better here and there. And actually, on that last pit stop, they went back on an adjustment. As you see the 0-7 of Andy Lally outbrake him here into turn 4, and they're going to go side by side into turn 5. Oh, and the 78 is off. Looks like he might be beached, Dave.
Stephen Young cannot get the 78 refired, as you see Lally keeping that position ahead of the 9 of William Byron. Young making his start for the B.J. McLeod team, gentleman from the UK. That may bring out a caution here. We'll keep an eye on it as the 4 of Ross Chastain now challenging the 9 of Byron. And that is the view of Stephen Young, 78. Caution is out.
Going nowhere fast.
That is in turn 2. So he got the keyhole just wrong and remains in the sand. So with 27 to go, the field slows back down and we'll get set again. Something happened to William Byron.
That going to be a lot more giving.
A lot more taking?
No, giving the bumper.
Parker?
That they will, guys. But guess what? This caution was crucial for many teams right here with fuel strategy-wise. A lot of them were talking about being 1, maybe 2 laps short. And with this caution, it basically says they can go all the way now getting these caution laps.
Yeah, straight up race from here, unless you decide to come down and put on some tires if you're running further back, but it's hard to give up that track position on a road course.
Yeah, really going to be difficult to make up those positions. The field's become so competitive, and you've got a lot of good road racers in here, and just makes it difficult. Only a couple of real passing opportunities unless you try to make a lot of things happen.
We mentioned a little bit earlier Regan Smith being familiar with a win here back in 2015. It was at the expense of a Team Penske driver. Here's how it came down that day. Alex Tagliani with the lead in the 22. Here they come to the final corners. Regan Smith in the purple 7.
See, Tagliani kind of missed the corner just a little bit there, got in a little bit hot. Regan Smith took advantage of that, used his bumper, moved him out of the way just a little bit. Coming to the checkered flag.
And that was really a combination, wasn't it, GJ? You talk about being in a guy's mirror, making him make a mistake, and there was just a tiny one there, and then the use of the bumper, as we so often see in NASCAR.
Yeah, exactly right. Kind of like short track racing that you see every Friday and Saturday night, your local short track, and it's no different here on a road course. The speed you got down, you're trying to make the block, make sure that you stay in your line. It only takes a split second to look up and make a little bit of a mistake and open that door.
What a big win for Regan Smith that was, and gave him a real comfort level coming here for the first time in a Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota to go ahead and try and do it again. There he is, the green and white stripes, and right now running in the 5th position.
Yeah, just behind him, a good day for Justin Marks. Done a nice job. Last year's winner in the rain, Justin here. Looks like he's made some adjustments, gotten a lot more comfortable throughout the afternoon. He said that it was taking some time. Didn't have much time to do that in a short, abbreviated practice session they had this morning, but has improved throughout the day.
A couple of cars coming to pit road. Andy Lally, one of them in the 07, giving up that front running spot.
Yeah, looked like they decided they couldn't make it maybe on fuel or something. They're coming in and just putting fuel in the car and ensuring that they can get to the end now.
Exactly, DJ. They did not think they could go all the way, even with this caution. They just were not getting the fuel mileage in that 07 car that they wanted, and therefore had to come down pit lane and get that extra bit of fuel to make it to the end.
So let's take a look at our Toyota driver update here this afternoon. There's a couple of good ones right there. The 20 of James Davison and the 18 of Regan Smith. They run 4th and 5th. And then their teammate Matt Tift and J.J. Yaley having a good day as well.
Certainly is. And he needed a good day after that engine that expired on him last week. Hurt him in the points scenario and trying to make that top 12 for the playoffs, but having a good, solid afternoon.
Still under caution. You saw them working on the 78 car there in the keyhole, turn number 2. That of Stephen Young. And also recovery today for, we mentioned drivers coming back from incidents like the lap 1 or lap 2 of Justin Allgaier. Earlier today, the 98 of Casey Mears had a bit of trouble, had to go to a backup car after the rear brakes were not functioning on his race car, and stuffed into the tire barrier in the keyhole.
Yeah, high-speed part of the track went in there and had nothing he could do except hang on, and destroyed their primary car. Had to bring the backup out, and first laps in it were in qualifying, and has done a nice job of recovering and staying on track here during the race.
Yeah, guys, and it's been a bit of a struggle for Casey Mears in that 98 car throughout this race. They don't feel like they have the gearing right in that car. It is not a full-on road course car. The setup that they had inside of it being a backup. And then also think about Casey Mears' position. Coming into this race, the last time he'd been to Mid-Ohio was in the 90s in an Indy Lights car, which is completely different, obviously, than a stock car. And so he went to his buddy TJ Majors, who's Dale Earnhardt Jr. spotter, who's a big iRacer, and he said, hey, man, let me use your iRacing simulator. And he actually did some laps on that, and that was the best acclimation he could get before he got in this car here, but just didn't get a lot of the laps in practice, had that issue, and now struggling a little bit in that backup.
And Parker, you know, you run the simulator for NBC, and what's the biggest advantage that Casey or any other driver can gain by not actually being on the track but looking at that simulation?
Well, it's a bit of breaking points. You know, there's some points that line up. It's not going to be your exact, the thing that you use for braking reference. You know, it's not going to be that sign on the left side that's going to be exactly the same, but it's going to give you a reference in distance, how much speed to roll into the corners, those sorts of things that once you do it on the iRacing sim and what replicates this heavy stock car, it gets you kind of thinking about how long to wait on letting that car roll through the corner, how long you have to wait to get back to the throttle, where certain corners you need to kind of sacrifice the exit to be faster through the next corner. It's all those things that are just general road course things that you kind of get back in the flow of, and then when you get in the actual race car, you start to kind of get down to the specifics of what you need to do to be fast.
And you would definitely say, Parker, better than taking a rental car ride on worn-out tires, such as we took with DJ yesterday with you at the wheel, right?
Well, that was actually a pickup truck, and I don't think those tires were worn out. I don't think they were. I think they were maybe cording all the way around, all four. And we've discovered exactly that, how far you can push a pickup truck in the wet around here, and it's not very far.
We all made it, thankfully. Hey, Friday night, the NASCAR Xfinity Series races under the lights in Thunder Valley. Short track racing from Bristol, Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern on NBCSN. The complete opposite of what we're doing today, and that should be a lot of fun, Dale.
Yeah, just a different type of madness is all that
Yeah,
is.
that's right.
But, you know, short track, high speed, high banks, a lot of fun to watch.
Sure glad you could join us here this afternoon. Central Ohio, a gorgeous afternoon after rains yesterday washed out the practice sessions. And then tomorrow, the Irish Hills of Michigan presenting the 400 miles for the Monster Energy Series. High speeds, what were they? 215 going into the corner?
Yeah, and the average speeds of the fastest laps in both practice sessions today still up over 200 miles per hour. Just incredible how fast they are around that track.
So NASCAR telling the field and the spotters and the pace car driver they'll be coming to green this time. They will form up double file, and then we'll see what line Hornish chooses. I bet we know.
I'm pretty sure.
Even though Hemrick got away with it last time.
Yeah, but when you're in control, that's the main thing, is having control of that restart. I'm not sure the line matters that much. It's what you're comfortable with as a driver, and being in control means as much as anything. And Sam Hornish is so good with the throttle, I'm pretty sure we'll see him take that inside line that has been beneficial to him.
When they get to the start-finish line, 24 laps to go, and Andy Lally, who pitted, as it was reported, for a splash of fuel, will restart 33rd. Be interesting to see how far through he comes.
Yeah, and he actually came back to the pits again right before we get ready to restart, just to make sure, get all the fuel there if they can. He's thinking overtime possibly, as you've mentioned a few times there.
You know, I don't want to predict anything, but it could happen here. And of course, the overtime line is now the start-finish line, so they will make as many attempts as they need to get back to the start-finish line and then see the white flag and then see the checkers. Give these fans what they came for. They're about to see another restart, which we always enjoy. The 22 of Hornish is the control car. The 21 to his outside Hemrick. They both go, and down to turn 1 they dive. Allgaier with an aggressive move. He backs out of it, and Hornish is cleanly through.
Yeah, Justin Allgaier trying to take advantage of Sam Hornish getting that nice jump. But here comes Daniel Hemrick. He wants to press the issue a little bit down into turn 2 here.
Looking. Gives Hornish Racing room. Behind, I was going to say, staying double file back in 6th and 7th. Yeah. The 18 of Regan Smith and the 11 of Blake Cook.
Yeah, Blake Cook very aggressive on that restart in the right lane there, getting down into turn 2, trying to make this pass on Regan Smith.
He's still there. Smith shutting the door. Contact. And now contact from behind. The 48 of Brennan Poole gets into Blake Cook. He can't stop the spin. And now contact behind them. Carnage coming out of turn 5. And this is not what Blake Cook needed. One of the drivers on the bubble for the playoff.
Another Jeremy Clements right there. Ryan Reed.
Ryan Reed safe with that win. And Spencer Gallagher's 23 also. Heavy contact. Gallagher was having a good day.
Yeah, he certainly was. Of course, Blake Cook had an outstanding day, finishing in the top 10 in both the first 2 stages. Torn up race car right now, though, and that's just, he was trying to be aggressive. He got off of Regan Smith there, but that opened the door by not being able to carry the speed. You can see here that the 48 car decided to stick his nose in there once again. That sent Blake Cook spinning.
Poole escapes. Kennedy escapes.
Yeah,
Reed, piled into by Gallagher, had nowhere to go.
Yeah, just nothing you can do. You can't see up there when you're going single file there and you're just gassing up and you're trying to get through there. And this is what will happen then.
They talked about those blind corners, and you're racing, right?
Yeah, looked like Ben Kennedy got a little damage maybe to the door. I don't know that it got into the right rear tire for him. They'll have to check that probably.
Give a listen here. We're going to hear some tires that are angry. Or sheet metal, or a little of both.
Well, Blake Cook is on pit road right now. They're calling out for the crash crew to get over the wall to take a look at that right side of the car. Hard for us to see a lot of the damage from this side of the pit wall, but as you can see on your TV screen, a lot of damage to that right rear of the car and the back side. They're also going to clean the grill off a little bit, make sure they get all the grass out. They got to clear all that bodywork away from the wheel so they can keep those tires inflated, utilizing a lot of Bear Bond right now to try to tidy this thing up, make it as raceable as possible. And don't forget, Dave, he was the Stage 1 winner earlier today.
That's right, Ralph. He'll enter the damaged vehicle protocol right now, the 5-minute clock, to get a chance to get that car repaired and re-enter the race and hopefully salvage a decent finish out of this. We'll stay under caution, step away for just a moment. Hornish Jr. is the leader, but Daniel Hemrick has him right in his sights.
Long live the truck built to dig in. With load leveling rear air suspension, the legendary Cummins turbo diesel, and the convenience of Uconnect with an 8.4-inch touchscreen. It's not just made for hard work, it's built for it. Ram, Canada's longest lasting line of pickups.
Right now, get a Ram Heavy Duty with a no-charge Cummins turbo diesel, plus 0% financing.
This is not another 18-blade razor, because this is one blade from Phillips. A blade for beards and stubble. Shape and shave any length, and be your best you with one blade from Phillips. Phillips.
Just like our skin, our scalp needs more than just cleansing. That's why I recommend Head & Shoulders with new Tri-Action Formula. It removes flakes, protects your scalp from dandruff with regular use, and moisturizes for unbelievably beautiful hair that's free of visible flakes.
If you're planning a home improvement project, remember to plan for the cleanup, because there will be debris. Be ready for the mess with the Bagster dumpster in a bag from Waste Management. Easy to use and strong enough to handle up to 3,300 pounds of debris, including the kitchen sink. One call to Waste Management and the debris is gone. All that remains is the perfect room you planned for. The Bagster bag. Buy yours at a home improvement retailer. Visit thebagster.com to learn more. Your cleanup starts here.
This is Crab Fest at Red Lobster. Dive into the classic crab lover's dream or new dueling crab legs with Dungeness and snow crab, only during Crab Fest. Now this is seafood. And hurry in to enjoy our new crab melt, part of our seafood lovers lunch for just $12.99.
Long live the good fight. The 4 a.m. start. The day that never ends. And long live the truck that makes the long days worth it. Ram, Canada's longest lasting line of pickups.
Get total cash discounts up to $14,500 now during the month of the Ram sales event.
It's almost a cliche, trust and integrity. But for us, it is all we have. It's a serious responsibility that we don't take lightly. What is integrity? It is what we do. It is our currency. That's us.
Blake Hook's team continues to go to work on the 11 car, getting it to a safety specification that the NASCAR officials are happy with. Same thing for Ryan Reed, and you can see they were both involved in the lap 52 wreck, along with Spencer Gallagher, who's being towed, and the 51 of Jeremy Clements being towed right there. His car's not even back yet to get started on it. So, how does that affect the bubble right now? Blake Hook, 43 above. Of course, his points today for 11 stage points that he's earned today will help offset the situation. But you see Ryan Sieg there now, 43 back, and Brendan Gaughan, 52 ahead.
Yes, ever changing through that. Brendan Gaughan was sitting there last week looking at being on the outside looking in and being very solid as he is on these road courses and making the most of that and got himself in a nice position there. But you can see a lot of work being done on these cars. They have to get them back to where they can make minimum speed, which they should be able to do around here, but you can just see the effort that is taken.
Still dragging Jeremy Clements' car around. You saw the 8 of Josh Balicki on and off of pit road. Oh, right in front of that 16, a little bit askew. There was some pretty heavy contact down there.
Yeah, you think that you're not going that fast, but it just shows that once things jam up, guys are in the gas trying to get through there, and once that starts, then there's a lot of damage that ensues.
Ryan Reed is going to give his crew an idea of what he's going to be able to do with that car down through the end. We mentioned safely into the playoffs with his Daytona victory, but certainly like more points than this day is presenting to him right now. It's been a fun day here at Mid-Ohio, unless you're one of these 4 cars involved in the wreck recently. Started off, Sam Hornish on the pole for the 3rd time here at Mid-Ohio, and Elliott Sadler gave chase. The 0-0 of Cole Custer smoking apparently left some fluid on the track. That caused an early spin for Matt Tifft and the 7 of Justin Allgaier. There's Allgaier. He was getting loose. And then he's off, and then behind him, Matt Tifft. Regan Smith going for more, didn't get it.
No, tried to get a little bit too much right there. Did a nice job of getting out of the sand trap, though, not losing a lap.
And then Matt Bell with a very hard impact off of the high-speed turn number 1. That car ended up through the tire barrier. Matt walked away, thankfully. In this restart, Elliott Sadler with the lead. Brennan Poole a little aggressive into the keyhole. And that was the end of stage 1. Blake Cook to the victory. So stage 2 began with Daniel Hemrick first off pit road, but he was soon headed on the racetrack by Sam Hornish, who's been pretty tough to stop today, Dale.
Yeah, pretty much unstoppable. Fastest car with a really good driver behind the wheel. This led most of this lap. Ryan Reed and his team were kind of on a different strategy, trying to make it on one stop today, but out there on older tires, had everybody held up a lot. Finally, he and Ben Kennedy make some contact. This sent him spinning and put him on a different strategy then, which resulted in them being where they were to get caught up in this latest incident.
Sam Hornish never gave up the lead and won stage 2.
Yes, really good racing here as we started after this last restart. You can see Sam Hornish there trying to get the lead back. Does a good job.
And this just happened.
A little more contact. We said that the pushing and shoving was only going to intensify and ramp up as we got closer to the end of this race, and that's exactly what we've seen here this afternoon.
Yeah, you said there'd be more give. I questioned it, and you said, oh, no, it's the bumper, the gift that keeps on giving.
The bumper, yes, yes.
And there's a little race summary for you there. 6 cautions today. There have been a couple of heavy ones, and never good on a road course. But the course has raced well. As you mentioned, DJ, back through the technical section, there are times when you can run side by side. It's been very competitive.
Yeah, it's great back there, and you can run side by side. You're not making the lap time, but the opportunity is there to have some great racing. We've seen some really, really good battles, getting yourself positioned for that one spot that you can get that jump off of a corner and beat your competitor to the next one.
Continuing around under caution with 20 laps remaining of the scheduled 75.
Yeah, 20 sounds like a short amount, Dave, but that's a ton of racing that goes on. When you're talking about 13 different corners, a lot of shifting, and we're going to see even more pushing and shoving as drivers try to get their opportunity to get as good a finish or win here this afternoon.
Those leaders were last on pit road on lap 42, so the tires are now 13 laps old. So there's a little bit of a give up there, and that four-wheel drift that we've seen out of some of the faster cars may become more prevalent later in the race here.
Yeah, it could do that. Everybody up there should be fine on fuel. I'm sure they were all saving what they can, knowing that overtime is a possibility. I think the tires will still go there because there's been a lot of caution, even though we've run 13 laps here in this segment. But, they're going to have a lot to deal with. There's speedy dry on the track and all kinds of things. So should be another interesting restart.
Let's hear from Ralph on pit lane.
Well, Daniel Hamrick is having a pretty good day today. There you see the 21. He needs drive off, especially over in the keyhole, that very challenging corner over there, turn 2 area actually. He took 4 tires and fuel, made chassis adjustments. Their big story is max save right now. He started questioning, says, I'm not so sure I can. And the crew chief's answer back was, his daddy said, can't, never could. So that's what he's going to work on here as we get ready to go back to green here, Parker.
Not quite the same story for the 20 of James Davison, who's in 4th with a good run here. Most of the discussion on his team radio has been about getting that car in gear. His crew chief, Chris Gabehart, remind him, you're not going to hurt this transmission. He's had a couple times here where he's struggled to get it in gear, and they said, just slam it into gear. Do not worry about it. You will not hurt this transmission, Ralph.
Well, Justin Marks in that 42 has worked his way up through the field. He started deep in the field. He's up to 5th now and is definitely in position to win this. Of course, the winner a year ago. He is loose in and off. They took some air pressure adjustments, track bar, 4 tires, and fuel. As he talked about the pre-race show, he's been doing a lot of training for a potential climb up Mount Everest. One of the things he told me he does is some very slow-paced runs in hot weather for long distances. He says it's really good at keeping his heart rate down and his mind focused in very tense situations. Well, it's very hot in that race car, and it's about to get tense, Parker.
And it's been intense of a race for Elliott Sadler. Think about this. He ran second most of the day, of the start of the day, to the 22 car. And they felt like after qualifying that they had made an improvement from last year, being closer to that 22 car, that they had brought more speed to this racetrack. So they stay out trying to win stage 1. They get spun out by the 48 car. They end up going all the way to the back. And then from there, he had a left front tire go down from getting into another car. They had to pit under green of stage 2. And now he finds himself trying to march through the field in that 1 car and hopefully use that speed to get up to the front.
How about that? Great updates, guys. Really appreciate that. We heard Ralph talking about the winner of last year's race, Justin Marks, and his training techniques for Everest. Supplied us with some video of what he's doing there. A little climb, I believe that was in Ecuador. That looks high to me, DJ.
Yeah, extremely. Yeah, and this, this is intense. It's not like training that you normally do just for something that you're going to go quickly and do. This is a process of a few years in getting yourself prepared to make this climb. So, you really admire this guy. I've admired him as a driver and the things he's been able to do around the sport, and then to take on this new challenge, you just appreciate someone doing that. But he's done a really, really good job here this afternoon for not being in stock cars all year like this and coming out here, not getting much practice today. He's got himself in a really, really good position with a car loose in and loose off. That's about as difficult as you can get on a road course.
Wonder what Ross Chastain is thinking in the 4. He is running 10th right now, putting on a good show for Johnny Davis Motorsports, one of the series regulars who is in a stock car all season long and having a very consistent run here this afternoon. So when they come by, there'll be 18 to go. They will form up behind the pace car. You see him doubling up here. Hornish still with the advantage over Hemrick, Allgaier, and Davison. Well, how about Davison's? Just slam it into gear.
Slam it in. That's transmission I needed, as rough as I was on transmission. I tried to slam them in. Sometimes that didn't work exactly. Back in the older days, I guess the parts and pieces have improved that they're able to do it. But that's what you can do with these transmissions. You just basically, you're not using the clutch, you're using the brake, and you're using the RPMs to slam these things into gear and get the job done. And it'll take the beating that you'll give it as a driver, but that's the quickest way to get it done.
Jeremy Clement's car took a beating under this most recent caution. That car was towed away. Thankfully, Jeremy was okay. He's been released from the infield care center.
We saw the 2 car go by there. He got a lot of damage on the right side there. Looks like everything's okay as long as it didn't cut down a tire, and we've been under caution here for quite a few laps, and I'm sure he's felt it out, and they decided to leave him out there and see what Ben Kennedy can get out of these last 18 laps.
A rough-looking 2 car. There's a couple of cars with damage in the top 10. These 2 automobiles look extremely pristine. Still, the 22, the white car of Hornish, the blue car of Daniel Hemrick, as they come back to see the green flag displayed one more time. 18 laps to go for the race win at Mid-Ohio. Hemrick keeping the bumper right on the rear of Hornish. He's going to keep the nose in there. And as they head for the keyhole, can Daniel Hemrick take the advantage?
I think Hornish will keep him pinned down here. It looks like he's going to lose the lead there. Here comes James Davison right there, too, to take that second spot away from Hornish.
Contact behind. Regan Smith into the 42. And Marks is around. Oh, and now piled into nowhere to go, the 16 of Ryan Reed. Caution displayed immediately. That 16 is going nowhere. And that all started when they got stacked up in front. Regan Smith battling the 42 of Justin Marks. And Marks was sent spinning.
Just a tough corner there on restarts. Everybody gets down in there trying to get the most they can. You can see the 42, I believe, has got a flat right rear tire. Maybe a lot more damage than that, but I believe
at the very least.
Yes.
Yep.
This will be the end of Ryan Reed's day.
Yeah, I don't think they can bend that one back into position at all. You see the window net down for Ryan. That's a good sign. See how this happened? Coming into the big braking section of the keyhole.
You see, Sam Hornish didn't get off to the best start, and when that happens with the leader, then everything jams up from back inside there. You can see Regan Smith just got loose there, and as he tried to correct, the 42 of Justin Marks was right there and sent him spinning.
And pow! Into the left rear comes Ryan Reed. Another look at it coming off the corner, cleanly through on the inside. 62 and 4. Oh! Nearly into him was the 07 of Lally. He gets by. May have been the last one with a clear look at the 42.
Yeah. That was a great restart there. As you can see, look, I'm not sure if the 18 got tapped there a little bit, or if it was just getting over on that curbing and lost grip there. Those you can run across those okay if you're kind of up to speed, and as you try to get across there though and power back up, a lot of times you get loose. Let's see exactly what happened to Regan Smith there. Looked like he got into the 7 of Justin Allgaier a little bit, and he was trying to stay off of him, and that sent him out into Justin Martin.
That's the exact location where Enrique Baca had trouble in practice earlier today, or was that qualifying? Can't recall. And then he was met, actually Regan Smith came through and had a tire issue.
You can see right here exactly what happens. Regan Smith gets there. Justin Allgaier comes over just a little bit, but just kind of jam things up. I mean, that's racing in a very tight corner on a restart.
Yep, you can see that. Ryan will look back at that and say they all missed it, and there was me.
Well, they had a little better eyesight than that. When you're like the 3rd or 4th car back, and then everybody makes that evasive move all of a sudden, you're not expecting the car to be sitting right in front of you as you power up.
Wow, tough day for Ryan. That will get on the hook. It is toast. So as we finish up here at Mid-Ohio, don't forget, coming up tomorrow, 1:30 NASCAR America pre-race. We'll set the table for the 400 miles of racing later in the afternoon. Countdown to green at 2:30, 3 o'clock for the Monster Energy Series race from Michigan. And then the post-race show, Victory Lap and Racing Roots with Kyle Larson. Larson's hoping to have a big day today as well. Tonight in Knoxville, Iowa. Could make that Racing Roots show even more interesting.
But Chip Ganassi giving him permission to go see if he can win that race tonight.
That was fun to see. The Free Kyle hashtag, I believe, went out there.
Yes.
And Chip responded and said, okay, he wins there. Why don't you all make your way out to Michigan International Speedway and watch him win on Sunday as well?
Looking for 3 in a row there, I believe, at Michigan. One of those tracks that just kind of suits his style, and he's found exactly what it takes. He was quickest in that last practice session today.
So most of the leaders stay out. The 18 of Regan Smith does hit pit road. And a couple more takers behind. Ralph?
Regan Smith making his way down pit road. Here he comes into the pit box. Quick look to see what they do to the car. They go to the right side. They're going to put tires on the right side, and they're filling them up with fuel. We'll see if they come. They do. They come around to the left side as well. No chassis adjustments at all. They'll just make some quick tire changes to this car, try to pull the sheet metal away from those tires, and get him back out as quick as they can, Parker.
Right, Ralph, and actually there's a lot of discussion on his teammates' radio in the last lap or so, and that is something that I'm trying to figure out as you see Regan Smith's pit stop come to the end here, is that NASCAR has deemed the 20 car to be in 3rd, and the team has argued that since turn 2 and all the way down that back straightaway into 4, he was ahead of the 22. So, DJ, Dave, I'm going to rely on you guys to figure this one out. If he's ahead of him, where was he supposed to be behind him that the 22 gets ahead of him, therefore he's going to restart this next restart in 3rd?
Now here you see it coming off of the corner, the 20 car, right before they get to the kink, there is a scoring loop, and there was one going into the keyhole.
And they go out of our sight, so you're not exactly sure when. We can't see right there when the caution flag was displayed and exactly where that next loop was. But, NASCAR has this, the timing and scoring, and they deemed that Sam Hornish was the one that was in 2nd place there.
Had a couple of good looks at it, and we're going to have to take their word for it here, although the 20 team may continue to disagree.
Well, you can disagree all you want, but seldom do you win those arguments.
I was going to ask you how that works out.
Yeah, you can see right here, still battling all the way down here. 20 still looks like he's ahead at that point in time, but it looked like right before that, the 22 had gotten ahead just a little bit before they entered that corner, and that might have been where the last loop was at that point as they were entering that corner. This isn't just random that NASCAR comes up with where this is. It's very specific as to what they have, and they have that ability to know exactly what took place at that time as to when they threw the caution.
Lights are off on the pace car now. They will come to the green, and Davison will fall back to third.
How about Daniel Hemrick, though, on that last restart, getting the job done? He's going to choose that outside lane once again, which we saw him do this earlier and get the lead.
So with all the scoring being confirmed and talked about, the NASCAR Tower has decided to add a lap here to make sure they've got the realignment correct. And they do that often. That's just a good way to make sure, to their knowledge, everything is correct, whether or not everybody's happy.
Yeah, it's not just second and third, but you talk about all the cars that are on back there. They have to make sure that everyone is in the right spot. I mean, where you line up on this restart could have a bearing on where you finish in this race, the opportunity that you have to get yourself situated inside the top 10 or top 5.
So Hemrick, the 26-year-old from Kannapolis, North Carolina, in the 21 car, has the field in tow. He will be the restart leader when we come back to Mid-Ohio and finish it.
Howdy. Hey. Here we go. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's not your car.
Car's ready.
Wrong car.
Is not your car? I would love to take it, but no. I'm so sorry about that. You guys want to check it out?
Someone else's car.
This is beautiful. What is this?
It's the all-new Chevrolet Equinox. This feels like a luxury SUV.
I love this little 360. How do they even do that?
I made a bad decision on my last car purchase.
Well, your car's here.
Bummer.
Wah, wah. I'm ready for an upgrade.
The great champions of the game lie in wait as some of football's most iconic clubs fight for their place in Europe's ultimate competition. UEFA Champions League playoff round, Tuesday on TSN. Brought to you by Heineken and Nissan. UEFA Champions League sponsors.
So just spitballing some slogans for the new show. Go.
All right. Sports Center with Jay and Dan. Hey, highlights. Why not?
SC with Jay and Dan. Yeah, I remember those guys.
Sports Center with Jay and Dan. Fine.
SC with Jay and Dan. We are not good broadcasters.
Yeah, that is true.
SC with Jay and Dan. Daddy wants his money.
I don't think this portion is going to make it to the final cut.
Okay, welcome back to Mid-Ohio this afternoon. A lot happening here. You see the Xfinity drivers and exactly where they're running. Daniel Hemrick leading the charge here. Justin Allgaier, once again, who was the highest finisher of the Xfinity drivers last week at Watkins Glen, up in that third spot. Ross Chastain doing an outstanding job here this afternoon. And on down through the line, they're making a good name. This is the opportunity. Without any Cup guys in here, yeah, we've got a lot of road racers that are here, but the Xfinity guys doing a nice job this afternoon.
On a gorgeous day for road racing in Mid-Ohio. The 5th time they have done it here, and it seems like there's always something captivating. And I think one of the things today certainly is Sam Hornish looking for his first victory. Never a winner here, a pole sitter for the 3rd time. Can the local from Defiance, Ohio make it happen finally for himself and for Team Penske again? Coming to the green, Daniel Hemrick has chosen the line which puts him on the outside for the first corner. As DJ mentioned, it worked for him earlier, and largely because he got a good jump. Can he do it again? Starter looks the field over. Geico restart zone. Hemrick has it again. Hammer down. And now Daniel Hemrick with the clear lead going down into turn 2.
Yeah, you can see exactly why he chooses that line. He's been able to be so strong through turn 1. See Sam Hornish once again getting some pressure for that 2nd spot from James Davison.
What a great turn 2 for Hornish and the drive off. He'll now challenge for the lead, heading down through the kink in 3 and down to turn 4. And Hornish is going to get it. Wow.
Here comes Davison trying to take that 2nd spot away.
Can he keep the brakes under him? You see him a little lock up in the front, just a little bit of contact. And James Davison is through to 2nd. Hemrick off track for a moment, and Gaughan is going to take advantage. Brendan Gaughan to 4th.
Boy, Davison applying a lot of pressure here to Sam Hornish. Something Hornish hasn't really had to deal with much of this day.
And now can James Davison in the 20, the Australian, who's only had one start in the heavy Xfinity Series stock car, but many in lighter cars here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Can he make it happen this afternoon?
Yeah, and this, when I was talking to Sam Hornish yesterday before, well, there was no practice, but as he came into the garage area, I was asking him about where he really wanted to make his car good. That's the part of the racetrack right there. He said, I can make my car good there. I can get away. Then they can't get to me down in turn 2. And so that was his plan, and it's worked to perfection so far.
See Justin Allgaier's 7 car, very good, and now pressuring Davison for second.
And that's the best thing for Sam Hornish as he's out front, is that there's a battle for second. James Davison can't run the exact lap that he wants to because he's having to protect from Justin Allgaier and Brendan Gaughan there in 4th.
The front 4 pulling away. The restart leader, Daniel Hemrick, is back to 5th. This is the battle for 6th. Who's going to prevail down into turn 4? Tipped with the inside line. Chastain trying to hang on the outside.
Yeah, Ross Chastain just having an outstanding day, but Matt Tiff recovering from his early race excursion off into the grass, but doing a nice job inside the top 10 here.
And then Brendan Poole, that blue and white 48, has used the bumper a couple of times today. Sometimes inadvertently, but he's been very aggressive, and Poole runs in 8th.
Yeah, you got to be aggressive on these road course races. Do what you can. You can see he's given everything that he's got right here, trying to take that spot from Chastain.
Trying to get the best finish he can for Chip Ganassi Racing. His teammate Justin Marks, involved in the last skirmish on track, is running 24th.
That J.J. Yaley there in the 14, doing a nice job also. Here comes Andy Lally, pressuring Ben Kennedy.
EJ, he is putting on a passing clinic. Think about this. From the start of this final stage, he restarted 33rd. He got himself up to 24th for that next restart. And now he's battling for 11th and just outside the top 10. He's been passing cars at a furious rate. When you think about some of those restarts, they were only a quarter of a lap at most. He's absolutely destroying the field as he comes through here and trying to get a run on Ben Kennedy on the backstretch.
His team, Parker, has never had a top 10 in the Xfinity Series. This would be a big day.
Uh-oh.
Off track, the 20 of Davison. The 62 of Gaughan is through to second. That happened down in turn 4. And there's another car involved. We lost somebody.
I don't know if it's Justin Allgaier. No, Ross Chastain.
Chastain is. Allgaier somehow has fallen back and way down. It's back to 29. So something happened to Justin Allgaier. It may have included James Davison. But Davison is now out of the hunt for the lead momentarily. There is Sam Hornish. Take a look back. Brendan Gaughan is scooted into second. Daniel Hemrick now runs third. Matt Tiff 4th. But where is Allgaier? There's the 20 of Davison. Now falls back in line. He'll occupy the 7th position. That brings Yaley up to 9th, the 8th position, and the 9 of William Byron up to 9th. Taking a look around Yaley.
Yeah, Byron's just continued to get better throughout this day. You can see him get more comfortable with what he's doing.
Tries the outside pass, but that may cost him. Here comes Andy Lally in the 07. Oh, they're going to go in a 4-pack down through the high-speed kink. And the caution is out. That is Casey Mears. His car stopped near the back of the course.
Yeah, I saw him looking on one of our others at maybe he had something coming out of the back of the car. If it blew up, or yeah, you can see right here a lot of issues. It's either engine or transmission related.
A long day for that Biaggi Denbesti group. They lost a car earlier today into the tire barrier. This is the backup, and now a motor gone here, it appears. So Casey sits there. Meanwhile, still trying to track down what happened to Justin Allgaier. could have included the contact where we saw James Davison out of shape. They were certainly racing for the same position. Parker?
Well, guys, you see that 62 of Brendan Gaughan in second, and as he came into this race, he had so much confidence. He loves road racing. He loves racing here. Remember, he won the Xfinity race a couple years ago at Road America. But when I talked to his crew chief, Shane Wilson, I said, you know, your driver enters here with so much confidence. He said, yeah. He joked a little bit. He goes, hey, sometimes he has more confidence than talent, so let's just reserve ourselves a little bit and see how we get into the race. But he said, you know, if he keeps the fenders clean and we can get to the end, Brendan can make things happen, and that's what you're seeing here. He found himself in second place. He has a confidence. He likes running here. Let's see if he makes something happen.
I like that, Parker. And, of course, his attitude, happy-go-lucky, and see what we can do with a fast race car and skills. Meanwhile, behind the 21 of Daniel Hemrick and the 19 of Matt Tifft, there's a little discussion happening between the 48 of Brennan Poole and one of Elliott Sadler.
Might not be the last discussion as they run 5th and 6th.
No. Recall earlier in the day when Brennan Poole went for the lead down in turn number 2. Sadler had it, and Poole had about one corner of his car in there, and the one ended up spinning. So they for the moment, have stopped discussing, but Elliott still remains in the aggressor position there. That's 5th place for Poole, 6th for Sadler right now.
Yep. Good recovery by Sadler. He had good. Parker reported he had a flat tire after that, and spent some time, came back in, make sure they had plenty of fuel during this 3rd stage of this race. But made a nice recovery, dodging everything going on the track, and going to be in the battle for a top 5 finish.
Speaking of which, the 20, of course, of Davison now back to 7th, and the 7 of Justin Allgaier runs 25th. Something befell Justin. They're still trying to find it, but I have a feeling it was through the first 4 or 5 corners of the track. So that's when we lost track of Justin, and that's when we saw James with a little bit of an issue. And the 14 of J.J. Yaley. Fine run for him. A 9th place run for him right now. Parker with more on William Byron.
Well, you mentioned the fine run for J.J. Yaley, but a fine run for the man beside him, who didn't have a lot of experience coming in here. Was obviously, as we told you earlier, using iRacing to get experience on this racetrack, and kind of came into this race thinking, if I just keep my nose clean, maybe I can get into the top 10. And where does he find himself right now? Inside the top 10, and that nose looks pretty clean, so I think he's done a good job of that.
Whole car looks clean, Parker, so I think you're right.
Yeah, and he gets good instruction. Max Pappas, outstanding road racer himself, works with William Byron on all aspects of his career, and as an advisor, and really helps him out, but certainly understands what a young man is going through as he tries to become a better road racer and taking advantage of opportunities like this.
Now here's a play we had thought about. What about a driver who has a reason to hit pit road late and might use a fresh set of tires? Justin Allgaier has just come onto pit road, and running in the 25th position, he really didn't have anything to lose.
Nothing to lose there, but there's just so many cars that have remained on the lead lap here this afternoon that you're just going to have a hard time making up many spots. But Justin didn't have anything to lose after whatever he encountered that put him back there. Was sitting there running in the top 3, and then had the problems. So you might as well come in and get the tires that you have there, pull away any sheet metal that might be up against tires, and see how many spots you can get out. There could be a lot of racing left here before this is over.
Speaking of nothing to lose, how about Bubba Wallace today at Michigan in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series? Comes home with a victory there after really not having any sort of a ride, subbing for Eric Almirola for a while in the Cup Series, but then the second car for Roush Fenway Racing in this series shut down, and nowhere to go. Where does Bubba go? Victory lane.
Yeah, Bubba's outstanding talent. Really did a good job in driving whatever he gets in. You know, we saw him get in there for Eric Almirola, and every single race he improved. And you could just see the progression that he was making with that race team. Of course, it's Eric's car, and he was ready to come back. But it's just a shame that Bubba can't find something, a good ride that he can take and showcase his talents. And I'm telling you, there's a sponsor out there that really needs to take a look at that young man. There's a lot of good talents out there, but Bubba brings a lot, not only behind the wheel, but outside of the race car, too, that could be very beneficial.
Ralph Shaheen?
Dan, this could be a really good day for Matt Tifft. He currently sits in 4th, started 5th. This is only the second road course race in the NASCAR Xfinity Series he's ever competed in. He finished 13th at Watkins Glen, of course, which was his very first road course race in the series. And he has really kind of struggled lately. But here today, he's had no top 10s in the last 8 races and now inside the top 5.
And Ralph, I'll tell you a funny story. He was supposed to race in the TA2 series this morning, but the car that he was in never made it to the first corner. The rear end fell out of it before he ever got going. So all the laps of experience he was hoping to get here, DJ, he never got. And now is running in 4th.
Yeah, getting plenty of experience here on track and full-time training right here and doing a really, really good job. It'll be important to try to finish this day out. He's made a nice recovery from early, so don't make any mistakes right here, but there's going to be a lot of pushing and shoving going on in these last laps.
Oh boy, Sam Hornish, the control car, that white 22, the 62 of Brendan Gaughan, hungry to lock himself into the playoffs in 2017. As they come by, there will be 8 laps remaining at Mid-Ohio. Starter getting a look at him as they approach the Geico restart zone. Hornish is on it. Here comes Gaughan. Can he challenge heading to turn 1?
This turn 1 has been Hemrick's best. Oh, he stuck his nose in there, but Hornish shut the door quickly.
Well, Sam had to make the corner and slow that 22 car down. Daniel Hemrick almost got into the back of him. And behind, big trouble. A huge wreck going out of turn number 1. That has been a trouble spot all afternoon.
My goodness.
Regan Smith is involved in the green car on the left. Justin Allgaier, who just came off a pit road with fresh tires, he is involved as well.
Caution still hasn't come out yet. I can't imagine why. But you can see the battle for the lead right here.
And that may make a difference as they go to the timing lines. Hornish will hang on to it here, but was he the leader when the caution came out?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. I was looking right at that, but I don't know exactly where the last timing line was. But Brendan Gaughan made a nice little run at him there. That'll be interesting as NASCAR takes a look at this as to who's the leader and the control car. A lot of cars torn up right here, though. As you can see, Regan Smith a part of that also.
On the left, Dylan Lupton, and there is the 8 of Josh Bilicki. Trying to have a strong run here this afternoon. All got started around J.J. Yaley, Dylan Lupton, and the 39 of Ryan Sieg.
Yeah, I think William Byron was involved in that too, as I see from one of our other cameras. He's got a lot of front end damage.
They go through turn 1. Sam, like I say, Sam really had to woe it down to make that corner, DJ. Hemrick almost got into the back of him.
Yeah, I think William Byron might have started that spin right behind Elliott Sadler, and that's what triggered all of this, I believe. You can see the 9 car there right in the front of that. He's able to continue, but I believe it was him getting sideways there in turn 1.
And then it's Bilicki who meets Lupton nose to nose. 5 of Michael Annett. I think he got it woed down. Yep, backing up now.
You can see the 9 car. But he was actually spinning across in front, actually going across to the other side.
Ryan Sieg took evasive action down to the right.
Looks like they're stopping him. We're going to put the red flag out here. As you can see William Byron right there. You can see him get sideways just behind Elliott Sadler. I don't know if they were all checking up because Hornish had slowed down so much. That's been the thing that he's done all day, is to make sure that he makes that corner and in control. There you see the 9 car sitting. A lot of damage to the front end.
And Dale, we've now got confirmation from NASCAR at the time of caution, the 22 was leading the field. So Hornish will remain on point. Gaughan will be second as they sit. We'll take a break. We're under red again here at Mid-Ohio. Sam Hornish having to wait to see if he can get his first victory in the Xfinity Series at Mid-Ohio.
The best curlers on the planet join forces in a mixed team format.
Bring down!
And battle for the single largest prize in curling. $200,000 is up for grabs. It's winner take all. At the Everest Curling Challenge. Begins Friday, August 25th on TSA.
Let's get real here.
Well,
McMurray, what?
I appreciate this.
That's a Texas size 0.4. That was refreshing.
162 games in one season. That's a lot of baseball. And with games 3 nights a week, you're going to be hearing a lot of this.
That baby is gone. He eats and he makes the play. Man, did he get a great jump on it? Yes, he did.
Major League Baseball. 3 nights a week on TSN.
Gentlemen, welcome back. You win this. Come on. Hey, he's hurt. The onslaught continues. Whoa! My goodness. This is crazy. Absolutely incredible.
People are always saying about the call, but guess what? I back it up.
That is what champions are made of.
Fighting's in our DNA. We get it, and we like it.
Chance to win. Will they get in? Yes, they will. They've done it again.
The comeback kids go for 3 in a row in Steeltown.
Let's go. Woo!
Bombers, Ticats on TSN. Canada's women are taking on the world, fighting for rugby's ultimate prize.
Magali Harvey, can she go all the way?
The 2017 Women's Rugby World Cup, August 9th to the 26th on TSN, presented by Guinness.
Following our coverage of Xfinity Series racing from Mid-Ohio, you can see horse racing, the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series, the Arlington Million on NBCSN. At the bottom of the hour, you can tune into the NBC Sports app and pick up the beginning of their coverage there. And then we'll flip you over to 1 horsepower after we talk about the 650 or so that are under the hoods of all these drivers' cars. So Daniel Hemrick is running third and has had a strong day so far. DJ, why don't you see if he'll speak with us for a minute?
Daniel, Dale Jarrett in the NBC SN booth. You got me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
All right. I'm from our vantage point, I'm looking out at your number 21 car here. Doesn't have a lot of damage on there today. A lot of pushing and shoving going on out there. But, young man, you've done an outstanding job. How's it been from your side?
Yeah. So far, I've been fortunate not to have any more damage than we had. But, no, it's been an exciting race, at least from my vantage point. It'll be my 4th road course race here in a stock car. Just trying to take it all in. 22 definitely gets a little better as he goes, and we were duking it out there, and just tried to fall in line and learn as much as I can from him. He's a heck of a road course racer. So he taught me some stuff throughout the day, and feel like we've got our Blue Gate Bank Chevy better as the days went. So have fun with it, that's for sure.
Yeah, it looks like on these restarts, though, things get kind of crazy. As we always know, whether it's getting through turn 1 or down into turn 2. You have kind of a plan here as you get ready for what may be the last restart and trying to get your way back to the front?
Yeah, really, it's going to be a restart like we haven't seen before yet today. You know, we've further on tires, less fuel load. Restart zone's going to be a little bit more sketchy than what it's been, I feel like. So what it seems like 22 takes a couple laps to take off. You know, our car seems to come in after about 2 corners, so hopefully we try to take advantage of it. And this entire RCR Bruce worked so hard all year. Hopefully we just finish it off and get a solid finish for him.
All right, thanks for talking with us. Keep up the good work out there and get yourself a good finish. Thanks.
Yeah, 10-4. Hope everybody's enjoying it. Everybody back home, tune in on the Xfinity going at. We'll put on a show, I promise you that.
Hemrick has had a couple of nice days on the short tracks so far this year, Bristol and Richmond, where he had the pole. A couple of top 5s for him, but this is a nice rounding out of his season if he can keep that 21 car in the top 5 to finish, perhaps even a win. There's a disappointed Justin Allgaier walking away from a battered and bruised number 7 Camaro.
Yeah, another one of those situations to where he got in this position by having to make a pit stop because of something that happened early, right up there battling inside the top 3 late in the race, and things go awry. But you got to finish these off. They get really crazy at the end of these races.
As they run, this is where things stand. You see Michael Annett just above the bubble. And Brendan Gaughan in good position now, 51 points to the better. Dale, let's talk with him.
Brendan, Dale Jarrett again. Talk to us again, bud.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm sitting here looking at your car right out from our vantage point. Man, what a great run you had there. Looked like you might have had the advantage on Sam until the caution came out.
I don't know about advantage, but, you know, with Sam Porter's just being next to him isn't much of an advantage. But South Point Chevy, like we said earlier, it's been good, Dale. It's been a ton of fun today, and we're fast. I want a shot at it, man. That's all you can ever ask.
Sam, a lot of things have been going on. I mean, Sam, I'm looking at Sam's car. Brandon, a lot of things going on around you, a lot of action, especially in these first two corners. How have you been able to miss all of that and keep your car pretty clean?
You know, I mean, I'm surprised the nose wasn't damaged. I hit the 18, Regan Smith, pretty hard in the keyhole on that one restart where people spun. He checked up. I hammered it, thought I did damage. They said that, you know, RCR apparently builds a good front nose. And then I got into the 20 where he locked up, and, you know, he didn't give much wear to Justin there earlier, so I was a little kind of miffed about that. And he didn't give him much wear either, so we're all fair with that as far as I'm concerned.
Brandon, you come into these road course races with a lot of confidence. Is that what's gotten you up here in the second spot with a chance to win?
You know, confidence, but more of it is Shane Wilson and this Chevrolet and what they build me. I love my guys. DJ, I've had them for 4 years together, and I go through thick and thin. Hell, I got guys up with me since 1999 on this team, so I believe in them, and they believe in me.
Yeah, they sure do. Keep up the good work. Hey, we're looking forward to these last few laps. Thanks for talking.
Hope it's exciting for the fans. It is for me.
Oh, we expect it to be. 2 career wins for Brendan in the Xfinity Series, going for number 3 today when we come back to Mid-Ohio.
Hi, Canada. We're back.
You know, Dan, a lot of people told us they grew up with us in the morning, but here's the exciting part for you, and I don't know if you know this. We're going to be live all throughout the night and the morning. So we're going to be live for 12 straight hours on TSN every day.
I did not sign up for that.
That's why Tim Hortons is sponsoring us. A jolt of delicious coffee and a couple of curlers. That'll get us through that 11th hour.
TSN CFL Fantasy wants to put you in the GM seat. All season long, you can set your roster and go head-to-head with CFL fans and the CFL on TSN panel.
This is no easy task.
Sign up at cflfantasy.tsn.ca to win great weekly prizes, including the grand prize, a trip to Ottawa to watch the 105th Grey Cup presented by Shaw.
Touchdown!
TSN CFL Fantasy. Set your roster today. The great champions of the game lie in wait as some of football's most iconic clubs fight for their place in Europe's ultimate competition. UEFA Champions League playoff round, Tuesday on TSN. Brought to you by Heineken and Nissan. UEFA Champions League sponsors.
Last year at this very racetrack, Sam Hornish Jr. had a shot at the win in the wet, driving the 2 for Richard Childress, got down into turn number 1 and got it wrong. He wasn't done spinning, and he almost ended up winning. Contact from Brendan Gaughan right there. Then later, more pirouettes from Sam Hornish, who was giving it everything he had. Came home second. Here he is down in China Beach. Didn't make the beach, but stayed in the lake. Got it turned in the right direction. Hard to know what your car was doing that afternoon, DJ.
I've never seen a car spin that much and come back to almost win the race, ever.
Second place last year, Ralph, going for the win today.
Well, we're down here with crew chief of that number 22. Well, you guys have had a great day today so far. The challenge is, of course, keeping that thing away from everybody else is giving them trouble out there. Now, you obviously got a good starting spot here for this restart. What kind of things are you telling me?
Really, I'm just talking to the spotters. We've got 3 or 4 guys around the racetrack that are to help him out and make sure he gets the kind of information that he needs to make the decisions going to the top of the hill up there, as well as getting through turn 1. You know, there's been a lot of crashes, a lot of close contact racing, so to speak. But if he can get out front, I believe he's got a good enough discount tire Mustang to bring it home. We need this thing to get green and go to the end.
The big key seems to be getting down into the keyhole. First guy to the keyhole seems to have a bit of an advantage after that, Greg. So how do you approach that?
Well, he's, obviously Sam, he's a very aggressive restarter. He does a terrific job here in about the first 300 feet. It's just getting under the tunnel right there and having an awareness of where everybody's at around you and what kind of run or what kind of momentum they have up off the corner. And we're trying to get them all the information we can, and hopefully we can bring this thing home.
All right, Greg, thanks. Certainly Greg Irwin has brought a lot of people to victory lane. We'll see if he can get one here today.
Ralph, thanks so much. Here is Team Penske on the road courses. They have been very dominant. Entering today's race, 15 poles, 8 wins, 32 top fives. That is first in all categories in the Xfinity Series. And I'm telling you, Greg and Sam have had a good effort together, running full-time a couple years ago in the 12th car. Nearly won the championship there. They understand each other, and as you just heard Greg laud the abilities of his driver, he knows Sam can get it done.
Yeah, Greg Irwin's been around this for a long time and worked with a lot of good drivers. Going to get to do that chance again next year as he moves on with the Wood brothers and work over there with Eddie and Lynn and that entire organization.
Who's going to be their driver?
Paul Menard.
That's right. A big new situation for them there. Sorry, I didn't mean to catch you there like that.
No.
It hadn't come out of your lips there, so I was making sure we covered that.
Yes.
They had the 27 this year of Paul Menard moving over to Wood Brothers next year. Greg Irwin announced as the crew chief.
Their first focus is trying to figure out how they can get this 22 car to victory lane here this afternoon.
And there's been a lot of refiguring and rethinking. The best news is that they've been at the front of the field. And they are there now. Coming up next on NBCSN, you can catch it on the app right now if you'd like to start your coverage there. Horse racing, Breeders' Cup Challenge Series, the Arlington Million being run. And again, pull up the app, you can catch it right there. And we'll get over to NBCSN with coverage of that as soon as we finish here. Coming to 6 to go next time by.
As we get ready for a restart here shortly, you look there and see Elliott Sadler's worked his way back to 5th. How about Andy Lally has taken that 07 car and up to 7th spot after coming in to make sure they had plenty of fuel, giving up some track position. They probably could have made it with all of these caution laps, but they didn't know that was going to happen at the time. But great job by that driver.
There's Lally's 07 for Bobby Dotter and Go Fast Racing. We mentioned earlier, never had a top 10 in this series. In position to capture that now. And he's got a good piece there. It's a former a car that was run by Athenian Motorsports, and it's got an Earnhardt Childress Racing under the hood, engine under the hood. And Andy Lally behind the wheel. That's a good combo.
Yeah, a couple spots back from that. In the 9th spot, how about Blake Cook that has come back from getting in that accident? They had a lot of damage to that race car. They took their time, repaired it, make sure they did it all right, and got himself back inside the top 10. What looked like was going to be a bad points day might turn out to be okay.
See Sheldon Creed getting way by the field there. I believe he might be might not be the free pass car, just getting in position. Cody Ware running in the 13th position as well in the 74, having a strong run today for Mike Harmon. And now they'll get the field reassembled.
And as they go by, I see Scott Lagasse Jr. There having a good run in the 10th spot. Doesn't get many chances at these stock cars, but does a nice job when he does get that opportunity.
And that was Sheldon Creed in the 01 getting the free pass. Tomorrow on NBCSN, 1:30 for NASCAR America, 2:30 for the countdown to green, and then they go racing at 3 o'clock. And we'll be there with you from Michigan International Speedway, followed by the post-race show with the winner and many other interviews, victory lap, and then a good look at Kyle Larson on the Racing Roots Show, 7:30 Eastern tomorrow on NBCSN.
Kyle Petty and Rutledge Wood do such a good job on those Racing Roots shows and really give us an inside look as to where these drivers came from. What was it that fueled their passion for the sport and bringing them through and making them the winners and champions they are today?
Kyle Larson, one of the Drive for Diversity drivers who has made it through to the premier level in NASCAR, just what the program was designed to do. And Kyle has been winning again this year. Parker?
As you see that 3-car Scott Lagasse Jr. in 9th, I know you just mentioned great run for him, considering that he's never been on a road course in a stock car. And actually coming to this race, he went and ran one of those Trans Am cars you mentioned a little bit earlier, but he felt like it actually hurt him because being lighter and able to brake later, he just didn't feel like he had a feel for the stock car. Obviously not getting a lot of practice as many teams did, but on top of that, he's been racing injured. He actually hurt his middle finger on his right hand working on that Trans Am car and had to get stitches at the hospital the other night, and has been racing with that kind of a big cast on his middle finger there on his right hand. So a good run for Scott Lagasse Jr.
That's interesting, Parker. I mean, you're busy behind the wheel, DJ. A lot going on. shifting, turning, being biffed and barged around by other cars?
Yeah, I saw Scott as we came in the garage area yesterday afternoon, and that was the first thing as we went to shake hand with him. Noticed that he had a big wrap there, and didn't want to do that. Asked him how he thought it might affect him, but he said he was ready for the challenge.
So far, it's been a good day for Scott Lagasse Jr., running 9th. So Hornish in the 22 has chosen the line that he has traditionally chosen today, been the restart leader several times this afternoon. And Brendan Gaughan will have to deal with him as they take the green and head down to the high-speed left-hander. Gaughan will be on the disadvantaged line.
Brendan Gaughan in a tough spot here as far as racing for points, but knows what the win could get him too. So how much is he willing to put on the line right here?
Has not won in 2017. A win would lock him into the playoffs for the Xfinity Series. 5 to go this time by. Green is out in Mid-Ohio. Hornish with a good jump. Here comes Hemrick.
Comes Gaughan back there.
Brendan Gaughan going wide. Does he keep it under control? Somehow manages to save it, but falls back. Now the race is for 3rd. To the inside. It is Tift. Being challenged now. Here comes James Davison. Davison battling Sadler for 4th. And Andy Lally lurking. Will Lally make it 3 wide? He's going to go down to the inside of Davison. The 0-7 of Andy Lally is 4th.
Wow, what a move by Andy Lally right there. That just shows just how good a road racer he is. Realizing that opportunity was right there. Trying to get a little more here. Not giving it up.
And in front of them, Tip now pressuring Hemrick for 2nd. So Sam Hornish legging it out just a little bit. He's got about 8 car lengths over Daniel Hemrick, who's now under heavy pressure from the rookie Matt Tift.
As you see the 07 Andy Lally in 4th, getting to the back of Matt Tift in 3rd place. What an incredible run by that driver and his crew. Oh, the 3 of Scott Lagasse Jr. gets sideways off turn 12 there.
Now, to your point, there is no craftier road racer than Andy Lally. And behind the wheel of a stock car, he has shown he can make it happen. Last year in the rain, this year in the dry, trying to get up onto the podium for Bobby Dotter and team. Oh, James Davison is going to stick the nose of the 20 in there, and Davison is going to take away that spot. What a great battle.
Oh, that was a great move right there. Late braking. Andy Lally gave him just enough room to get his nose in there, and he did the rest.
And Lally able to control his race car. Here comes Lally back. He takes a look to the inside. Will Davison go for it on his teammate? No, doesn't have the room to make the move on Matt Tift.
Davison was playing a little defense right there, actually moving over. That's where Andy Lally took advantage last time and made the pass.
Down through the back section of Mid-Ohio. Davison gapping just a little bit, and now Lally has to be concerned about the 1 of Sadler.
I think Elliott Sadler's pretty content just to ride there. Yeah, he'd like to have a top 5, but I think with the day that he's had, the way that everything turned around at the end of that stage 1, if he could come out of here with 6th place and take those points, he'd feel really good about the day.
Point situation good for Sadler. 3 to go now for Sam Hornish. Brendan Gaughan, by the way, back to 7th in the 62 after that off-road excursion.
I don't know how he saved that race car and didn't crash, but he did an outstanding job.
It might be his off-road truck upbringing.
For sure.
Yeah, perhaps. Here's Lally, again with a look on Davison. There's Gaughan. He's now getting pressure from the 48 of Brendan Poole. That's for 7th. Here's what happened right after the green, off course and bounding through the grass.
Yeah, Sam Hornish, I think that's just hard racing right there, and both drivers trying to make sure that as he came out of turn 1, they were the one out in front. Neither one wanted to give an inch.
So for the moment, a win opportunity has vanished for Brendan Gaughan, but it can still be a strong points afternoon for him, and he needs the points.
Yeah, that's why that save that he made there was so big. I mean, he could have taken a day to where he's looking to battle late in the race and finished outside the top 20 and lost a lot of the points and everything that he had worked hard to gain throughout the day.
Speaking of gain, Daniel Hemrick hangs on to what he has in the 21 car. That blue and white car running second. A little bit of pressure from Tift. But Sam Hornish, this section of the track, you talked about it, DJ, continues to lengthen his lead as they come through it.
Yeah, he's doing good, but Daniel Hemrick staying right there, especially when he's getting pressure right behind him from Matt Tift. So I'm very, very impressed with him. I'm not sure he can go up there and make the pass, but he's going to be right there if Sam Hornish happens to make any mistake at all.
And that's the other thing that we don't expect out of Sam. That'd be very hard to wish for. Here he comes down into the keyhole. 2 laps to go. Tires at the end of their grip level. Fuel levels all good on the front runners. But are the drivers weary? What do they need to do to get to the finish here, to get to the checkers?
And guys, just add in on top of that, brakes. Remember, these cars have been going around here for so many laps, and this is when the brakes are the worst, and you're pushing the hardest. You're trying to make passes. You're trying to outbrake other cars, but this is when the brakes are their hottest and they're their weakest as you come down late in the race.
Yes, great point, Parker. And also, they sit there under a red flag condition. They've been under caution. The air pressures in the tires are going up and down throughout this. So this is when the driver really makes a difference. I think that's why you see people like James Davison and Andy Lally really making a nice run here at the end of this race.
Davison now gaps Lally just a little bit more. Is there anything left in the 0-7 to try to get 4th place from James Davison? And what a great run for Matt Tift in the 19, currently 3rd, trying to track down Hemrick. Here comes Sam Hornish, white flag. 1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank.
You get the white flag on an oval, you say, I've just got 4 corners to negotiate. A lot more here. You've got 13 of them. Sam Horner's done it pretty much flawlessly all day long. See if he can continue that.
Just under 2 miles remaining for the Defiance, Ohio driver. Said early on today to us, came here as a kid watching the races, and then became an IndyCar champion. Strong runs here in the open wheel categories, but never a victory in the Xfinity stock cars since they've been racing here. He's been victorious on the ovals in Xfinity. Yep. But this is his home in so many ways. Now managing in the rhythm that has brought him to the front all afternoon long and kept him there. And Hemrick is a ways back. He'll have to hope for that mistake out of Hornish, but I don't see it coming. Coming through the final corners, lifting that left front. Now a right-hander through the carousel. And down to the final corners, tires barking. Sam Hornish under control. The left-hander to the checkers. Sam Hornish is going to win at home in Mid-Ohio. And Greg Irwin knows it. That is big for his driver. Behind him, career best finishes for the 21 of Daniel Hemrick, the 19 of Tift, the 20 of Davison, of course, and 5th for the 07 of Andy Lally. But the day belongs to the driver of that white 22. We'll see victory lane with Sam Hornish when we come back.
For the past 8 years, Kraft Heinz Project Play has helped communities across Canada build better places to play.
When I first saw the kids run onto this new beautiful field, it felt amazing.
This really puts it over the top and really allows this community to grow in great ways.
It's not a better place to play. It is absolutely the best place to play.
For the chance to win $250,000, nominate your community today.
If we can do it, you can do it.
Follow the shot makers.
How about that?
Record breakers.
Mr. 58 is Jim Furyk.
And history chasers all season long with Golf Talk Canada.
Look at this. Did it again.
Join Mark Zucchino and Bob Weeks every week as they break down golf's biggest stories.
If he can win this one, he can win anything.
Along with insight and analysis from the game's most influential people. Golf Talk Canada, presented by Acura. Wednesdays on TSN4.
My name is Alex Riley, and this is the story of my life. Now, in order for you to get the complete picture, I should probably start with...
the day that changed everything. Did everything just go slow-mo for a second there? Yeah, she has that effect on guys.
But you gotta get it together.
You live in a garage.
It's a two-car garage. Well, at least when life hits rock bottom, things can't get any worse, right? Wrong.
Gentlemen, welcome back. You win this, come on! Hey, he's hurt! The onslaught continues! Whoa! My goodness! This is crazy! Absolutely incredible!
People are always saying about the tall, but guess what? I back it up!
That is what champions are made of.
Fighting's in our DNA, we get it, and we like it.
Some people are going to be intimidated by you because of how smart you are.
Or maybe they'll recognize my intellect and make me their leader.
Lord, look after my son. Don't let him get stuffed in a gym bag.
Young Sheldon, this fall on CTV.
There's a very happy winner, Sam Hornish, at home in Ohio, now taking a victory lap and thanking the crowd for hanging in there with him over the years and over the afternoon on a race that saw a lot of action on the track and off of the racing groove. And that takes us to our standings. Here is what we have. A lot of the drivers involved in the bubble situation, DJ, contact today and trying to salvage finishes at the end.
Oh my gosh, there was so much action going on. As you can see there, as we kind of pointed out, from that 10th spot on back, there was a lot happening. Blake Cook made a nice recovery. What looked like could be kind of a disaster, even though he had a couple of good stages there, the first two, got in that accident, but made the most of it. Ryan Sieg, pretty good day for him. J.J. Yeley battled right to the end, even though he got in an accident himself.
Brendan Gaughan, 45 points out now, to the good, that is. He was 36 to start the day, so he actually gained as well. Here's how the day went. Started with Sam Hornish Jr. on the pole. Great qualifying run for him. New track record for the driver of the 22.
Yep. Beat a guy that he knows well, his own track record, in doing that.
That's right.
Himself. Kind of set the tone. You know, he kind of knew that this was the driver in the car to beat. Everyone was pointing towards the 22.
Early on, pitted and lost a little bit of a lead. Was that when he got the sandwich? I can't remember.
No, I think this was earlier on where they decided to give up any stage points that they might get, which doesn't benefit him at all, so they pitted before that.
That's what it was. Coming back out, he resumed the lead. Strong challenge from Gaughan here. And this was I think this was his late race romp through the grass. And came to the checkers after that. Brendan wasn't very happy with him, gave him a little nerf to the tail end as they were on the cool-down lap. Greg Irwin knows he's going to victory lane with his driver. Nice victory for Team Penske today, who we noted dominates in the Xfinity Series on the road courses. There's Sam. He's had his victory lap. He'll make his way down to victory lane, which is on the end of pit lane. After a very outstanding run. It was dominant at times. There were times when he was challenged and withstood the challenge.
Yeah, that's the key, is he withstood those challenges, and you know, it's in very difficult parts of the racetrack, and at the times that others got the jump on him, he allowed that to happen and then methodically worked his way back to him to the places that he knew that he was better than the other drivers at certain parts of the course, and took the lead back. And just an outstanding day by Sam Hornish.
Breeders' Cup Challenge Series coming up next as soon as we're finished with the victory lane coverage here, and Sam Hornish horse racing next on NBCSN. Now, like I say, a lot of horsepower involved here this afternoon, and that Mustang, speaking of which, was very good. So Sam waiting now, and victory lane is sort of constructed as it goes on the racetrack. So it takes a minute to get that done. There they go, pulling it across right there. It's a good scene down there, and of course right now for that whole team, nothing but good feelings after the hard work today.
Yeah, you don't mind waiting.
Let's head back down to Ralph.
Well, we're going to jump in here with Sam. Sam, with the engine just ending, this is a huge day for you. I know you've won so many major races, but this one, you get a NASCAR victory at the track you grew up coming to. How significant is it to you?
Man, it's just super important having my family here and a bunch of friends. And this is a place that I think I finished second in about 3 or 4 other series here. So to finally be able to get the win, and with the luck that we had for our first 2 races with me being back at Team Penske this year, I was wondering how today was going to turn out, but man, the car's been good ever since we unloaded off the truck and just had a pretty smart, almost flawless day for the most part. Feel bad for the 62 there. Got cleared and moved up on him a little bit, and you know, Brendan's always raced me good, so I didn't want to beat him that way. So just real happy with the discount tire Ford Mustang.
Gleam in his eye, Dave. He's a big winner here at his home track.
Ralph, full-time family man, part-time racer, comes home first at his home track at Mid-Ohio. Well, thanks for joining us here this afternoon. Breeders' Cup up next here on NBCSN. It's been a fantastic afternoon at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, where we saw a lot of action off the track and some great racing, 4 wheels all the way around. Sam Hornish in victory lane for the first time in Mid-Ohio. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow, Michigan and the Cup Series.